Alright, welcome back guys to another Horror Room movie review, and today we have Jason X from 2002. This movie was horrible. I'm all for cheesy, bad horror movies that are so bad they're good, kind of like the Leprechaun series. But this movie here, this was just pretty much bad the entire time.
It was so bad, it's bad.
The budget for this was actually $14 million and it only made $16 million. And I can see why. It looks like a movie you would see on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it has Kane Hodder, who plays Jason in this, so that was good. But there was really nothing in this movie that felt like a Jason movie. It felt more like a cheap sci-fi movie that they just tacked the Jason name onto. And I understand why they did that, because without Jason this would be nothing. And it didn't really feel like a typical Jason movie, and it pretty much failed on every level, I thought.
It sucked. It could have been an Alien movie. Something could have happened, with that. Maybe. But not Jason. not Jason.
Yeah, the big thing that they advertised it, I guess, was the metal Jason, the Cyborg Jason, and we only saw that at the end of the movie. And he didn't really do anything. It was just a bunch of bad CGI, bad acting.
Those graphics were awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was just, terrible. So, I guess to get right into this, in the last movie, Jason went to hell. He died at the end. Well, he didn't die. He was dragged to hell, and then Freddy Krueger's claw drags the hockey mask down. This is never explained in this movie. It starts off, and it shows some type of little, intro thing with the credits, and it kind of looks like hell, and then it looks like Jason's being worked on by scientists. I have no idea what the hell's going on here.
It was blood in a syringe. It made no sense.
Yeah, it was blood in a syringe and just little glimpses of things. But as far as an explanation, I was looking forward to seeing this movie again to see if they said anything about him being taken to hell, and they said nothing. He's just back.
No HE double hockey sticks. Disappointing.
So apparently Jason has been chained up at the Crystal Lake Research Center, awaiting to be cryogenically frozen. And he still has the hockey mask on. They mentioned something about how he was captured in 2008, and they're going to freeze him. But some government guy shows up. He wants to take the body for more research because Jason can regrow lost body parts. And he wants to explore that some more. So he actually wants to move the body. However, one of the scientists, Rowan LaFontaine, I believe her name is, tells him not to. Jason's far too dangerous. But this guy says, you can take that up with the people in charge. We're taking the body. He goes to get him. And of course, when they take the sheet off, it's one of the guards. Jason has escaped. He kills the government guy, all the soldiers with a big chain. And Jason is chasing after Rowan LaFontaine.
LaFontaine.
And he's chasing after her, and she shoots him with a shotgun into the chamber and starts to freeze him. And he stabs her, and as she's dying, she gets frozen.
Well, he stabs her through the chamber, which therefore causes everything to be released, and she gets frozen as well.
Yeah, so she gets frozen, and Jason is about to escape, but he gets frozen too. This movie, oh god, it's so ridiculous. Just reading what happened again is horrible. So, we're in the future. And we see these kids. At first I thought they were scientists. Thankfully, we have Wikipedia, and I can figure out just what the hell happened exactly, because it was very confusing. And we have these kids. Apparently they're on a field trip. And they find the chamber. One of them says it was made in 2010. And apparently hockey was outlawed in the year 2024. One of them recognizes that Jason's got a hockey mask on, but hockey was outlawed. One of the students is the boy with purple socks from the Harriet the Spy movie.
That's pretty cool.
I instantly recognized this kid. He plays some type of futuristic stoner or something like that.
Yeah, he's got dreads and everything.
Yeah. And they claim that they can save the female scientist, Rowan. They can revive her, they can bring her back because she was frozen before she died. Jason, however, is completely screwed.
Or so they think.
Yeah. And before they go back to the spaceship, Jason actually cuts off the boy with purple sock's arm by falling over. He's frozen, he's holding a machete, he falls over and cuts this kid's arm off.
It's like, sploosh!
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So they inject him with some type of drug and he starts acting all high. It was just lame comedy here. Very bad. They fly off the planet. Earth looks like Mars. Apparently Earth can no longer sustain life in the future. And they have this new planet Earth 2, which they're going to. So they get back on the ship. Purple Socks gets his arm back. We see another one of the students take out Jason's eye through the hockey mask. They still don't take the mask off him, and she like removes his eye. Don't know why, but they do. And then the female scientist gets brought back to life, Rowan. She starts asking about Jason. She finds out it's the year 2455. What the hell were they thinking? I mean, that doesn't even make any sense, and that raises a ton of questions.
Yeah.
Like, way more questions. But the biggest one for me is if this was part of a government project and they're supposed to be freezing Jason and then this other guy gets orders to go get the body and all this stuff happens and he kills them, why did no one go back to the lab and like try to find out what happened or at least remove the scientist's body from the chamber?
Right.
Like, none of that makes any sense. So it was just completely ridiculous that they went with that year. And it's also just random. So the professor tries to sell the girl's body to a collector. Dieter Perez, this guy was awesome. He was funny. This was the only time he's in the movie, though. And apparently he's the financial backer for the professor. He hears that he also has the body of Jason Voorhees, who this guy, all these years later, knows.
455 years later. Now,
yeah.
I have something to say about that because they keep saying it's been 455 years. Well, when they find Jason and LaFontaine, they say that the chamber was made in 2010. How in the world is it 455 years later if the chamber wasn't made until 2010?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously didn't give this much
It's
thought.
math, people. Math. It's so simple. It's so easy.
So this guy knows who Jason is. He says, oh, he killed 200 people. He might be worth something. And apparently the professor has money problems. I don't remember hearing about this any time in the movie. Wikipedia said he had a lot of debt.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
It just says I need money.
Yeah, he's like, I need money. And he wants to sell this body of Jason, so it cuts back. One of the students actually cuts off the mask. We see Jason's face. He's got the deformed face again. And the professor is in a... It cuts back. And we see the professor in a dress getting his nipples squeezed with pliers by one of the students. And then he says, you passed.
She was trying to get that grade.
This is...
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and just, oh my god, they tried to do so much lame comedy in this movie and failed miserably.
Oh, yes.
And this was just like a random scene. I was like, what the hell is this? So then some students, they're having sex, of course. It's Friday the 13th. And Jason comes back to life. He grabs the female student's head, shoves it into liquid nitrogen, and then smashes it.
That was cool.
Yeah, this was probably the best death in the entire movie.
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, instantly, it wasn't the first because he killed the government guys, but in the future, he kills this girl, and that was probably the best. He grabs a futuristic machete weapon. I guess that was kind of cool. And the revived girl, Rowan, from planet Earth, learns about Earth, learns they're going to Earth 2. She tells the professor they couldn't execute Jason. They tried to use a firing squad, electrocute him,
They hung him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they even tried to hang him. But why didn't they try to cut him into pieces?
Yeah.
Like, just cut him into a million little pieces and spread them over the world like Dragon Balls.
Cut
or
his
something.
head off.
So, she meets the rest of the crew. One of them is an android named KM. And she asks for proof that Jason's dead. And of course they find out he's missing. They go into lockdown mode. Jason kills one of the students with a machete through the stomach. Then we see Purple Socks Boy and a soldier. They're playing this virtual reality game where they're fighting these giant aliens. Jason shows up. He breaks Socks Boy's back.
They're fighting dinosaurs.
Yeah, it was like dinosaur, alien, T-Rex combinations. I'm not sure.
It was pretty cool.
With a mix of dragon. Yeah, this was actually pretty cool. I didn't mind this. The CGI wasn't great or anything, but I thought it was okay.
The idea was there. It was good.
Yeah, at least it was entertaining. And up until this point, I think we were like 40 minutes in
Yeah.
before we even got to
So
this.
we were thankful.
Yeah, I mean, for anything. And so they're playing this dinosaur game or whatever it is. And Jason shows up. They think he's part of the game. They find out he's not. He breaks Purple Sock's back, smashes the soldier's face into the wall, kills him. Then we see the professor. He's trying to bribe the general not to kill Jason, to take him alive. And the soldiers go. They find Jason, and they just shoot the hell out of him. And I guess he escapes. I don't know. what
Somehow.
happened.
It doesn't really tell you.
Yeah, he just kind of escapes, and then he starts picking off the soldiers Metal Gear Solid style, like he's Solid Snake.
Like whoosh.
Yeah, he pulls one into the dark shadows and breaks their neck. He tosses another off a ledge.
Breaks their back.
Yeah, he jumps out and slits one of their throats, and it was just very Solid Snake here. One of the soldiers actually shoots him, and he falls in a hook, but of course the soldier turns around thinking he's dead. He comes back to life, stabs him in the back. We see another soldier on a hook just moving back and forth.
Swinging.
Yeah, so Jason single-handedly destroys all of these people from the future who have gigantic guns. Jason stabs the general through a wall, and he says it's going to take more than that to keep down this old dog. So Jason stabs him again, and he says, yeah, that ought to do it.
That was entertaining.
That was funny, but it was just completely out of place. Then we see Jason kill the pilot. The students and the professor are in the cargo bay with some other crew members. The ship crashes into some type of, I guess, space base called Solaris.
And it tears it up.
Oh my god, the CGI for this scene was horrendous. It was so bad that this was actually funny, only because it shows the ship crashing through Solaris, and then the professor says, let's go back, and then we see the entire place explode. They basically destroyed an entire city.
They also go through a building and tear it up. It's crazy, Godzilla style, and it starts, crumbling down, and everything catches on fire and blows up.
It's like they destroyed New York City or something like this.
Exactly.
So Jason tries to break in, and then he jumps through the window. Classic Jason. The students escape, and the professor's left with Jason, who finds his original machete, and the professor actually turns around and says, it's okay, guys, he just wanted his machete back.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah, and
no.
We don't even see him die. We hear him scream. Jason kills him off screen. This actually happens a few times in the movie, just off-screen deaths.
It's like, oh, like that.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So, all the people left get split up. One of the crew members finds the body of the pilot, all cut up, and his body actually looks like Chucky doll parts.
Yeah.
Like when Chucky gets blown up or anything happens to him and you see the little doll hands, that's what these parts look like. Just very bad here. So, Jason finds this guy, the crew member. He kills him by electrocution. The students try to get on a ship to escape, but one of them got there already, and she takes off alone. She's freaking out. She don't want to open the cargo door for the other students, so she leaves on her own. We see the ship lower, and then immediately she wrecks it into the ship above, holding all the other students. Just very, very stupid. Jason shows up and gets into a fight with Kim, or KM the android, who apparently took a upload of an ass-kicking upload, apparently. And now she's like badass, like...
Yeah, she's got this black suit on, like she is going for it.
Yeah, she reminds me of the girl from Resident Evil or something, and now she's like kicking his ass. She blows off one of his arms and legs and half of his head.
Oh my god.
We find out the general is still alive. They take him to the medical room, thinking Jason's dead now, and they find a ship who answers their distress call. And they say we can be there in 45 minutes, but their ship's about to blow up. They only have 30 minutes, so they have to destroy like half of the ship in order to buy themselves some time. It's crazy. So Jason gets brought back to life by the machine he fell into. Somehow the machine they used to revive Rowan, they used on the general, they used to bring back Purple Socks Boy's arm.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason like just fell backwards into this thing, and it just somehow absorbs him.
It's computing, and it is going to fix him.
Yeah.
And his head, half of his head is gone at this point. And his leg, and he is jacked up.
Yeah, I mean, he can't be killed technically,
No,
but he didn't have a head.
It was ridiculous.
And so the machine like turns him into Cyborg Jason finally. And
Which
apparently,
looks really cool.
Yeah, it did look awesome. And it was cool to see Jason as the badass. They just didn't really do anything with this. And the hockey mask is completely back on his face. It's just metal now, which I assume means there were human cells within that hockey mask. So that didn't even make any sense either. But it's Cyborg Jason, so I was like, what the hell, it looks cool. Let's see what happens. Maybe some really cool stuff's going to happen. It doesn't. So they're trying to get to the rescue ship. Jason punches a hole in the wall, causing one of the students to get sucked out. And this was so stupid.
It was ridiculous. It was like okay, you hitting a wall, okay, sheetrock even, and punching a hole through it. It was that big, and she gets sucked through it. It's not feasible.
It was like that big.
It's not feasible. And well, half this movie isn't, but still, really.
Yeah, it just didn't look good at all. She's holding on for dear life, which was another scene that just dragged on. The movie was only an hour and 30 minutes, and there was a lot of stuff that was just filler.
Yeah.
She's holding on for dear life. Like, we're supposed to feel sorry for her. She was kind of like an annoying character anyway. And she's holding on, and I guess we're supposed to say, oh, I hope she makes it. And of course she doesn't. And we see her fly, and then we see this tiny hole like this big with blood on it.
Yeah.
And we're just supposed to assume she got sucked all the way through.
All the way through this hole, the size of my fist.
I mean, she was able to hold on for, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, and she's like, help me.
Yeah, she's able to hold on for 5 minutes. The other people are okay. They're holding on to a door.
Yeah.
And then she gets sucked through. So this had to be so powerful, it could just instantly kill her. Yet she was able to hold on for 5 minutes. So I thought that was a bit much. Then we find out the escape hatch won't open. So the general goes outside to fix it in a spacesuit. Jason's coming through, though. And Rowan tells them that a little bit about Jason's history, about Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And they put him in kind of a virtual reality simulator where he's back at camp, complete with, I guess, female campers.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah, this was actually a great idea. I really liked this scene. I thought it was entertaining.
And the effects for this scene were the best throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, the camp actually looked like a nice place.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. And
It looked comfortable.
I was like hypnotized by this scene because something was finally happening. And he kills the campers, which is kind of funny. He's like beating them in their sleeping bags against each other. And then we see the student, Rowan, and KM's head, the android. She's fine, even though she's just a head. They actually escape. The general stays behind to fight Jason as the ship explodes. And we see them fighting off in space. And the general kind of rides Jason's body, I guess, down to Earth too, like he's surfing. He's holding him. We see Jason getting burned up in the atmosphere. And then we see these two kids watching over a lake, and they're saying, "Oh, is that a shooting star? Let's go check it out." And then the last scene we see is the metal hockey mask floating in the bottom of the lake.
Half tore up.
That was it. And, oh, I was glad this was over by the end of it.
No good. It's just really not good.
I mean, the stuff with the bad CGI, the general fighting Jason through space, just way too much here. I would have to say this is the worst in the series so far. Part 10. I think that Part 8 with Manhattan wasn't very good at all, and it's still, I would rather watch that like 5 times in a row than watch this one again. It was just really bad. So, yeah, that's just my thought on it. I mean, what did you think about it overall?
I fell asleep for like 3 minutes. If I'm just going to be honest about it, it sucked.
Yeah,
I don't ever want to have to see that movie again. I'm good. I saw it. It's over. And that was a part of my life. That happened.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen sci-fi movies that were better than this. I think...
Oh, yeah.
It's a stretch, but I would have to say that Leprechaun Origins, the sci-fi movie that we did for the Leprechaun series, was actually better than this. And this, I think this was actually released in theaters.
Oh,
I have no idea how. I mean, it obviously didn't make any money, and whenever you kind of take a horror movie guy, a classic character, and you just throw him into space, people already realized you're desperate, you're searching for ideas here, and they really just didn't have anything in this movie to redeem it.
They should have quit while they were ahead, really.
Yeah, the gore didn't look good. Cyborg Jason, I guess, was $14 million, and the other $1 million was spent on the rest of the movie.
Yeah, really.
So, I mean, I don't know. I have to say that this movie is definitely a pass here, but yeah, not a very good entry in the series. So, that's it, guys. Hope you like our review of this movie. We'll be back next week to do Freddy vs. Jason. Leave your thoughts on this movie in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Bye.